Welcome to another stimulating episode on Celeb Biz with me, Amelie Chosu. This is where we unravel the dynamic tapestry of creativity and entrepreneurship that is woven by Ghana's iconic talent. Today on the show, I'm honored to be sitting next to a genius. Not only a genius in the music industry, but he's also a genius when it comes to the vivid strokes of visual art, and he's also an advocate for everything humanitarianism, and you just name it. My guest today is none other than Worlasi Langani.
Waska! Waska! Charlie, also, thanks for coming to my humble abode.
Yeah, I mean, it's refreshing being out here.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
I like the outdoors here.
Yes.
The trees and everything.
And the trees and everything.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I knew I was going to come
Yes,
to
yes,
so I just had to
That's smart.
Yeah. So, we all know Worlasi as a musician.
Yes.
Yeah, but I know that you're into fine arts as well.
Yes.
So I just want you to bring us up to speed on your fine art side. Yeah, what you did in school, how you got here and all that.
Okay, so started doing fine arts in TTU, Takai Technical University. But I think the basis of my fine arts started from home. I was allowed to create, draw, paint, have my own time to myself, and when I'm bored, I always want to create something. So I think it started from home, where my family gave me the space and the freedom to create as much as I want. And then I went to Pope John Senior High and Junior Seminary, where I wasn't obviously a seminarian, but I went to do painting and sculpture in school, which is visual arts. And from there I went to TTU, and TTU I finished school and started hustling as an entrepreneur. Yeah, building my name and making sure the name matches the personality as well, because the art is not just creating what you necessarily like, but also making sure that it represents you and it represents your surrounding and your community.
So with your abilities cutting across music and visual painting, tell me, how does your creativity manifest in both your painting and music?
They are all arts. That's why it's called the arts. You know, they're all arts. There's contrast in music, there's contrast in painting, there's balance in music, there's balance in painting. You know, they all play a specific role. And sometimes when I'm making music, I can see and understand why they are all the same, because you could see the similarities in both. You know, some places are heavier than other places. In painting, you can have a heavier, something can be heavy in terms of the color being dark, or the size of it looking heavier than other sides. And in music too, you can see that the bass line is probably heavier than, you know, the guitars, or so that you could see the balance that's a place in both disciplines. Also, the second thing is it helps me balance myself as an artist, because I'm human. I'm doing something that I've not done before. I'm doing something that obviously I went to school for, but with the music, we all didn't go to school for music, you know, and you hardly find music schools and all this, so it becomes difficult. You have to find someone who has been in the business, and if you don't have anybody, it affects you in so many ways, creativity-wise. And so the painting calms me down, because you can't rush painting. You know, you have to sit down and paint. And so when the music is fast, jumping on stage, coming back, traveling here, we come back, and everything is a lot. You come down and you pick a canvas and you start painting, and then it just calms you down. And if you have to paint for 2 weeks, you paint for 2 weeks. So the two balances each other for me. I feel like music is fast and a bit radical, and, you know, but painting calms you down, and so it's therapeutic for me. They both balance each other out. Yeah.
But I mean, since you found your love in music, I think painting was relegated to the background instead.
Yes.
Because for the longest time, I mean, nobody heard about you being a painter and all that. It was just music.
Yes,
So
yes.
what made you transition to that, from like being a musician to an artist who now paints his work, commissioned artworks, selling them and making money of that?
I wouldn't say transition. I think I was just informing people of my other hidden abilities or talents or learned skills. Um, Music was very fast. Like I said, I just happened to like music. I happened to meet people who supported my music and helped me push my music to certain places. Um, I was painting every single time throughout the time. Like I've been drawing ever since I was young. I was painting every time. Even in school, I was doing paintings for fashion students who couldn't paint or draw because they are into fashion. They just want to sew. They don't want to learn how to draw. So I mean, sorry, but I did it for extra cash. So I've been painting since. Even when I started music, I was painting on the side. It was making me money because when you start music fresh, you're obviously not making money. You're still pushing. So music, art has been there all along, and it's been supporting me all along. And I just got inspired by some of these artists that came out and were doing really well. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Because it can bring me extra cash. Moreover, the music is not necessarily bringing me all the money that I need or the money that can satisfy my ambitions. And so I was like, why not? So shout outs to people like Amakubuafo who are doing extremely well in the arts business, making it extremely professional and, top notch kind of presentation of art. And these are kind of people that motivate me to say, let me take some time off music and do the painting and make it professional as well, because I was just doing it for fun, and I had only few clients who call you and say, I want a portrait for my wife, my daughter. Ghanaians, we like portraits because nobody wants to put an art that they don't understand in their room. So I wanted to break away from the portraiture and just go deep into myself and create something. And when I was doing that, in the process of doing that, I realized that I could actually exhibit. And so I started partnering with some organizations and running some exhibitions, me and my team. Shout out to Zaki, shout out to Ama. So thank you guys. And shout out to David Hammond for helping me put out some of the paintings for exhibitions. And I think that's how it's transitioned, even though I wouldn't call it a transition. It was always there.
I think I remember you had an exhibition months ago.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me, what was the most rewarding thing about organizing that and showcasing your art to the public?
I think it was fulfilling because I have always wanted to find out how I can merge music with art for the longest time. Everybody knew, Langani the paints, because that's how I shine. And everybody knew I could paint, but I was finding a way to fuse both. Music was fast. I got plenty following from music, and I was trying to find a way to throw some light from the music fan base or the music attention onto the painting, and it was very difficult for me to put it together. So this time it made a lot of sense, and this was during the therapy listening show at Jamestown Coffee Roasters. The most fulfilling part of it was seeing both of them become one. The music was therapeutic, the painting was therapeutic. It was talking about me finding difficulties in my creative process, and then my creative blockages, surpassing the creative blockages, and then the paintings also represented each and every song that was on the album. And so you could see the link between the two, and people who came could easily tell, oh, this is perfection, this is future self, this is that, this is whatnot. It was easy for everyone to tell. It merged nicely. It was a very successful show. And I think the most fulfilling part of it was also making sales and selling all the paintings. So yeah, that's one of them. Those are the two fulfilling parts. It linking together beautifully, and also making sales, selling some works, and using it for the next album.
So when we talk about Worlasi as a musician, you've been touted as an artist that as endued with some Asian knowledge, some sort of reincarnation of ancestors and the like. How do you connect and project spirituality with your music and art?
I think spirituality is open to all. We just ignore it to focus on money, wealth, success, sex, and whatnot. but spirituality is open to all. It's I think it's the most, it's common sense. If you see something that is not good, it's not good. I don't see it much as spirituality. I just see it much as humanity. You know, like just doing something good for yourself and then the people around you. And once you start thinking about the good you can do for yourself and the good you can do for people or what you can leave behind, you start realizing that you are touching people in different ways because you are thinking about them and they are thinking about you. And so they begin to wonder how or why they are connecting to you in a different manner. And then that's what becomes that this notion like, oh, this is spiritual, this is no, it's because we are all thinking the same thing, but I just happen to say it. I happen to say things that actually matter to me and the people around me, because I go out with friends, we sit down, we drink, we talk, you know, we talk about important things, but you listen to music and you don't hear any of that.
Yeah.
Everybody is talking about, you know, what is going to draw attention and what is going to make money, obviously. And so I think it's because I think it's because of the humanitarian aspect of it that draws people attention to topics that are sensitive, important, and needs to be discussed. And so it makes people feel connected, and connectivity is spirituality. I think that's what it is. But maybe someday I'll actually start talking to spirits.
Well, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, me too.
And you've also talked about, you know, creating your own philosophies through music. Yeah. So tell me, how do you manage to, I mean, share some of these philosophies and how they, you know, reflect your worldview?
Okay. So one is The Man and the God, which is the album I released the last 2 years. I believe on this earth, some people are playing God. You know, imagine there's an uncle of yours that is, or an auntie of yours, or a friend of yours whose dad really likes you because you are doing well in school, and then they offer your parents some money to pay for your school fees, and you don't even know about it, and then you pray to God and say, oh, thank you, God. And so God is working through people as well. So I believe, the man and the God was to let people understand that you don't have to wait for God to do something for someone or for yourself. Sometimes you can be somebody's savior, somebody's God, let's say, and help someone. So the only problem is some people understand this concept and they are using it to their advantage, and because they know they are in that God power or the God space, they can use it to their advantage anyhow, and it becomes a problem. Example, politicians, example, pastors, example, even teachers sometimes, you know, like it's just, these are people that have that power to change lives, and some do and some just don't. And so this Man and the God philosophy is very important. It plays a huge role in my life because I need to make sure that I'm using the power and then the influence I have properly in order to help myself and help the people around me as much as I can. That's just one.
I know you have a project going on, Giving Shade.
Yes.
Yes.
So
let's talk about you being an environmentalist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, you see, it all comes to like humanitarian thing. Like you're thinking about yourself and the other humans. You know, it's like I didn't even know there was a word for that. Environmentalist. Jesus Christ. Anyways, when you walk around, Charlie, the sun, it's crazy. You know, we've seen other countries. We've traveled to some countries. We've seen how trees are everywhere, even in the cities where there are towers. You know, there are places you can just sit and calm down. Places old people sit and calm down. You know, places children go and sit, calm down. Reduces mental health and stress and everything. You know, and then you walk down my streets. I think you walk there.
Yeah.
People were sweating like it's crazy. And the heat from the floor is, you know, and I'm like, you walk in East Legon, Cantonment, like, you know, all these places, and then there are trees, nice trees, and people who nobody's cutting it.
Yeah.
You know, like, so the other places, what is happening? You know, it's like we might as well just do it ourselves. And I feel like, Charlie, let me just gather my boys and some of my fan base, and let's just plant some trees. and we are planning on planting trees that can help people like moringa, mangoes, and
Yeah.
whatnot. And that is why we started. That's why I started doing it. I was like, this is too much. Like,
Yeah.
because I was like, what do you need to plant a tree? Like, you don't need anything to plant a tree.
Not
You just
much.
you don't need much. Like, you don't need much. Even with moringa, you can just cut the stem and put the stem in soil and it will grow. And we've already tried it, even though it was difficult. We got about 6 of them coming up so far. We're planning on doing 50 plants for the first time. So we are doing 50, we are calling the 50 shades of green. So we are planting 50 trees around the neighborhood. It's becoming difficult to get the seedling to grow very well, but it's just time, you know, and we are planning on not using money for it because we want people to understand you don't need money to plant a tree. That's the whole point. But yeah, we are just, I think it's just because, you know, I traveled and then I saw things that I liked and I wish my place also had those things. That's all.
So should we look forward to seeing you taking it beyond your neighborhood?
Oh yes,
And
yes, yes,
extending
yes.
it,
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
yes. We are looking forward to taking it beyond. The Giving Shade is not just, it's not my project. It's an idea that people are also thinking about. They also want to change that. It's just that everybody's, like I said, everybody's focused on themselves and then their money, which is very important. But you know, if you take one Saturday to plant one tree in front of your house, it will do some good, and maybe some other time you can sit outside. But so we are just starting with my neighborhood because these are the people I know. So I'm going around, talking to the people that I know, the homes, telling them we are going to plant some tree in front of your house. If you don't mind watering it once in a while to grow and become shade for people who can stand there and wait for buses to come, because Charlie, every junction is a bus stop. You know, and all the bus stops in my neighborhood, there's no place to sit.
Yeah.
You have to stand in the scorching sun, hoping to see another bus, Charlie. And I was there, Charlie. I was there, Charlie.
You've been through it,
Charlie,
so
I've
you
been
know how it
there, so I
feels.
know how it feels.
Yeah.
It's hot. By the time you get for an interview, you are sweating, like, you know, picking Trotsky, you know, and then I feel like now I have the space and then the people to help. And some of my fans have already texted me that they want to be part, so we'll start planting once the seedlings are grown enough to not die easily. Yeah.
Just hit me up on your next project. I'll be more than glad to join.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm more
I'll
than
call
glad
you to come over. Yes, yes.
Definitely,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you. We need more people.
I know you were invited to the University of Ghana.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think their English class.
Yes,
to
please.
give some lectures as a guest lecturer, though,
Yes, yes.
on their African literature
Yes.
presentation. So, I mean, that opportunity, how does sharing your knowledge and experience impact your own creative process as an artist?
It helps me, it helps me explore my process that I never think about, because my process is not something I sit down to think about. It's something that happens when I feel like it, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't sit down to observe myself and know how my process is. But once I have a lecture, I sit down and listen to myself sometimes, and I'm like, oh, so this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. Secondly, the students ask questions that also triggers certain parts of my, it highlights certain parts of my process and my creativity that I didn't even have any idea I had or I did. And so those are the two things. And then the third one is, it's fulfilling to see myself connect with the young ones in that manner. You know, you could tell how eager they are to ask the questions, how eager they are to know how you are doing your stuff and how it's impacting them and how you are also impacting yourself and your fans. It's beautiful to witness, and I also like the way it's also makes them have conversations with themselves, and the conversation is sometimes a bit tensed because I throw out questions and then some of them are, you know, having, they are debating about certain things, and somebody's like, why would you say the man and the God? Because there's some Christians in the group, and then they, you know, they start understanding where it's coming from. So there's this slow but sure on learning and learning through
process,
art and through music and through my philosophies. And I am happy that people are beginning to understand that it's not an influence, it's a way of life. It's also sometimes you just opening your mind to other understandings and treating life in those manners so that you can change your way of life, because you can't keep doing the same thing and hoping for a different result.
Yeah, and we know that literature and art often intersect. But how do you see your work contributing to, or let me say, reflecting themes in African literature?
Ish. This one, you have to ask the lecturer that invited me. I think in terms of writing,
Yeah.
I'm doing very well to implement like English, Ewe, Ga, Chi in certain ways, in certain manners, mostly pidgin as well. I think in literature wise, I say things in certain ways that is always in the third person. And so I am not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what people are saying. And so it's a bit mind-boggling, and it doesn't make you feel like I am instructing you or I know too much. I'm only telling you what I've heard, and it's just the way I cut across the delivery that makes it sound like a storytelling vibe. And it's just the way that it's said in 3 minutes that I think is going to help the students also find ways of creating or writing in such manners to get straight to the point in a very short time. Because if it was an essay, then nobody would be listening to it. But it's music, and I find a way to fuse the entertaining part of it to the literature. And I think that's the part that I admire myself, and that's the part that the lecturers also admire, that you are using your voice to say something that's important. You are saying it in a very intelligent way, and also you are creating awareness, and you are causing people to think, you know, letting people open their mind and think. I think these are the 4 things that I can point out based on the question. I hope I answered the question. Yeah.
So, I mean, you've been navigating the art and music trade, or let me say craft, for a while now. What are some of the key strides you've made that you believe has contributed significantly to your success?
I think it's constant creativity, like not giving up. It's all you have. It's what makes you happy. Like, my favorite part of this world of being an artist is on stage. Like, that's the only place I can stand and say anything that I like. I mean, not anything that I like, but like it's the only place I can say anything that I like, and then my people understand what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. Because in this new era of world, it's hard for you to say things. Our cultural sensitivities has gotten to a point where you can't express yourself, and if you're an artist and you can't express yourself and you keep everything inside, you will explode. It makes you an angry person, all the time. You can't say what you want. Hence the next project called The Angry African, because I want people to understand that people are actually angry, but they are scared to say what they have to say. Hence The Angry African, because I feel like people cannot express themselves, and everybody is like, keeping things down. But anyways, basically the question was, what has helped me to, and I think it's the art, the form of feeling free to say what I want, how I want, using my music to express myself. That's the whole point of being an artist. You should be able to express yourself. And so if you can't express yourself, then what are you doing? And music and art helps me to express myself the way I want, so people can see what my problem is, or my happiness is, or what somebody's problem is, or what the community's problem is. And once that is taken away from you as an artist, you'll be sick, And so I think me just knowing that I can express myself every day pushes me to write more, to create more, to find the problems even more, ask people what the problems are, and just use the music to create awareness. I think that's one thing that pushes me. Secondly, money that I make, it helps me, it feeds me. Third, it draws attention to the people of my caliber, so I tend to attract people that are like me or think like me, or people that even want to support you and even push you further, people that you can also push further, people that you can collaborate with on anything and also push that further. There are people who want to be helping or supporting ideas, and so it also attracts very, very quiet, very, very intelligent people, very, very knowledgeable people, presenters like you, videographers, photographers, investors and whatnot, you know, businessmen and women and whatnot. So these are the things that drive me to keep going. That has also pushed my career to a certain level that I'm happy about.
I think it's okay to say that through that you've managed to equally build your own social capital.
Yes, it's not easy, man. It's not easy being a musician in Ghana. Nah, please.
In what way?
Like making money is not a joke. Like you have to read all the time. I mean, I had to force myself to learn certain things like writing proposals and whatnot because because I am an indie artist. You know, I don't have a manager whatsoever. So like I'm working with friends. Yeah, it's just me and two of my friends. You know, one person is handling admin and then the other is a producer who handles like finding things and getting things done, like getting cameras, also directing and whatnot in terms of visuals and whatnot. Yeah, and then the band that supports me once in a while, and even they cry, they are not my band, like once they just help me, you know, once in a while. And my sound engineer who is also supporting, you know, but you know, you have to think like a businessman. Like I said, it's not easy, so you have to start thinking like a businessman. And I think that's the aspects that makes us worry a lot, because if you're an artist, it's hard for you to have both the right brain and the left brain working equally. And it's just nice to have somebody on the left brain doing that side of the job, the front end for you, and then you know, and you can handle the right brain and the creativity aspect of things. So it's not easy because you have to use both brains. So I have to start learning how to write proposals, send out proposals, go for meeting, go for dinners, lunch. So I get invited to these you know, ambassadors summits and all these things, and you have to attend. So when you attend, you talk to people. You have ambassadors of countries also doing their parties at home, little parties. They send you emails. First, I wouldn't go because I'm like, what am I going to do there? But now I dress up and then I get there quickly. Exactly. You talk to people, tell them about your album, your shows that are coming up, and it has changed me to a lot. It has made me grown in the business aspect, even though it's not that much. It's just something that can confine my art and my creativity to an extent that it can make me survive. But there are other levels of the business aspect, which is finding probably about $500,000 to market just one song globally. You know, that's different thing. $1 million, $2 million to market an album. That's a different level. But on my level, I'm just sticking to the parties and then talking to people and proposals and whatnot. So it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to make sure your money is always tight, and you have to find monies to do the project, to make more money, to give people back their money. It's not easy. I learned the hard way, but we are doing it small.
But I mean, I know there are quite a number of independent artists who equally get these business professionals, you know, to front for them, to keep their books in order and all that. So what stops you from, you know, maybe collaborating with one, or having one person on the team to supervise and oversee these things?
During the years, I've had people come in and out. You know, we work for some time, and then, you know, plans change. People have plans change. Things happen. Families happening. You know, health issue. You know, everything happens in their own way. There are companies now that are available that you can just seek for them to help you organize a show. So I do that. Like, I don't work alone, and I consider these people as partners as much as these artists you are talking about consider these managers or fronters their partners. I see it in a sense that I don't have to be constantly working with you for you to be a partner. I can consider Alliance Frances as a partner. I can consider Alibar as a partner. I can consider Treehouse as a partner. You know, I can consider Sunta Beach as a partner. All these are partners that I feel like I can text anytime and say, I have this coming up. If you feel like your company is aligned to this, then we can work together. Exactly, yeah. And also too, I think I'm beginning to enjoy that aspect of it. I'm learning a lot, you know. I can't do everything, but I can learn some, you know, and I'm thinking of, you know, helping other artists as well and letting them know how to be independent and still make it work, because there are so many things you can do to make that work. And I won't lie, I meet people that want to help and we work together on things. We were given shade. I did not do it by myself. I worked together with someone from Australia, you know, and we came together, made it happen. And when the time was done, the deal was done, go their way, I go my way, and then I continue, because they can't also be there forever. They also have plans. And I'm not saying I don't want anybody to be there for the longest time. I would love that, but fortunately for me, I have not found those people yet. And then now I'm growing also to, I can't necessarily see clearly what everything is going to look like. And so bringing somebody on board, you have to be able to show them what you want, every aspect of what you want. And if you can't do that, it makes the work difficult for them. But once you know your ground and you understand what you're doing and where you're going, it makes it easier. So when the time is right, we'll always find that. But there are people that are partners, amazing people in Ghana, Accra here, that are willing to support artists and support creativity that you can work with. So why not, you know, make them all your friends and partners than just sit at home, create, and make one person do the job, when you, the artist, can also go and front for your work, you know, because it makes it even easier and even interesting for
because you understand
so
it
you
better.
understand it better, so you can share it properly, and it doesn't just look like somebody just comes to ask money for an artist. You know, the artist also knows what he wants or what she wants. So it's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, since you've touched on the business side, let's just delve deeper. I was having a conversation with Foster Romanius, and he touched on the whole therapy thing and that concert that happened, the therapy concert that happened at Alliance Francaise. And we're talking about brand direction. I mean, since he is a brand consultant, and he mentioned the fact that, for instance, so a company wanted to do something about mental health, and since you had music that was geared towards that direction, they had to come to you. So that brings to mind, when you are I mean, producing these kind of songs, do you have that at the back of your head? That I'm producing this in order to collaborate with this business when they need this. Do you have that at the back of your head?
I would say like I said, sometimes you have to be reading, you know, and I've been following Rick Rubin for a long time. He's a producer, and he says things that make me understand how these things work. To be a businessman, because I was entering into the business aspect, I understood that you have to serve people to make money. Like, you have to be able to serve people or a people. So once I understood that, I was creating from a perspective of, the main reason why I created Therapy, the album, is because everywhere I went, everybody was talking about mental health. Europe, everywhere I went, people were talking about, like, everywhere, grown men, women, kids, young people, suicides, all this. And I was like, oh, this is a problem. Let me touch on it. There was a time in my life also where I was also down a lot, like very, very down. I was like, I'm tired, I'm down, I can't be doing this anymore, going up and down, I'm tired. And for like a week, I was like, you know what, let me break this thing down. Let me find out why I'm going through this, how I always get out of it, because it happens. It happens
you
most
managed
of,
to work out
that darkness, by yourself. And then I started breaking it down. That's how we broke it down to perfection, future self, when I'm gone, whatever, money aspects and all that. That is where it all started coming from. But whilst I was doing it, I started understanding that, oh, even when I'm done with this, by all means, there will be people that would like to support. Honestly, we did not believe in that project. I won't be lying. Nah, I won't even lie to you. David and myself, we were like, this project is not going to go anywhere. I'm rapping too much, because I wanted to rap and express myself, because singing doesn't give you the enough time to say what you're about. When you have verses on the song, you can express yourself. So I was like, I'm using this song to tell people how I come out of my creative blockages, so that other people can also help. It can also help other people. It can be like the Bible of therapy, you know. And all of a sudden, we started getting calls from left, right, like, so I was like, oof. It was real. Yeah, it was real. Like, the 7 people actually helped. And this reminded me also to create what I want because it's helping me and helping others. And that way, it can find a reason for other people to say, this album that you did is going to help this thing to do what or not. Like, and I will say it's not every time that I think about it. Like the Angry African, I don't think anybody's going to contact us because we are going directly for the government.
Yeah.
We are going directly for.
I was about to touch on that.
Yeah, that I don't think. Even now, we are trying to do a show on the 23rd December, and still we've not had any sponsors yet because when they read the proposal that I wrote and they see where it's coming from, and because the youth is angry and then they want to express themselves, so we want to create like a space where we come and jam and then like air out our frustrations. Nobody wants to be part of it because I'm going to be on stage talking about all the things that our government failed to do. And so companies are scared to support things like this, but the youth is struggling. Like people can't pay rent and things like, and me, I would say I've been saying this for years. So 23rd December, sponsors or not, we still can't talk on our mind. But anyways, yeah, so it's not always about the money. It's about expressing yourself as an artist. And when you express it to the extent that the people around you are also expressing the same thing, everybody will connect to it. Everybody will connect, and it will live forever because they won't stop stealing the money. And we will not also be leading ourselves. But by all means, we'll keep having presidents. And one day, maybe it will change. But until then, we will talk. So it's not always about the money. Sometimes it's about the expression of yourself and the people around you. It's necessary.
So I mean, this scenario of hitting a roadblock and your search for, let me say, sponsorships. And, what do you make of the stance of these corporate bodies? Do you think, look, they need to defy whatever pressure it is?
They are making their money. You want them to come and use your proposal to support their business? Nah, they should do what. I understand that they don't want to be part. There are partners I've been working with. You ask them, say, nah, I can't be part of this. It's political. I'm scared. And nobody wants to be part of something that is going to voice out the youth's anger and frustration because the government in power is not doing well. Because these governments, people too, they are helping other restaurants and businesses thrive because they've built restaurants, they are doing private things for themselves that people are actually managing, so those people cannot also come and say, Charlie, I want to come and do this, because you can't bite the hand that feeds you. So I have nothing to say to them. I understand, Charlie, we are cool, I still with you, we can still work on the next project, which doesn't have to do with this, but this has to be said because it's in the air. We can all see it, and before you can be successful in this country, you either have to be a politician, a pastor, or a fraud person, and it's not looking good. Why can't doctors be millionaires like in other countries? Why can't IT designers or like technology designers or whatnot can't also be billionaires? Why can't we have people like that being billionaires? Why does it always have to be politicians, pastor, or fraud? Always. Why? And it's not nice. It's nice to see somebody come out of nothing and create something, and the government even supports it. Like there are countries that are supporting artists to even create albums. Like you can go and collect money and create an album.
Yes.
So far as the proposals,
to
thank
the
you.
Country and everything.
There is nothing happening. Maybe I don't know, but I have not heard of anything like that in this country where the entertainment aspect of this governance is supporting actors or to even
them to do projects
to even do shows. Nothing. They are all, I know this person's father, I know this person's daughter, so it's like if you know the daughter of the finance minister or this thing, then maybe you can get something. And that is what it has become. It hasn't become high artists. Whoever comes with a proposal that is certified at all, or qualifies for this, we can give it to the person. No, It has to come to my party. If you come and jam with me, then if you come and smoke with me, fine. If you come and drink with me, and then it has become connection, which is also part of the business, honestly. Maybe I'm hoping that me too I'll get there and be part of. I'll be friends with somebody's son or daughter one day. Then me too I can get some of the money. But until then, Alliance Française, 23 December, Oscar. Yeah.
Before we, I had a question about the corporate bodies and then the creative industry thing. But then, since you touched on the politicians bit, I know you have issues with the political party over the unlawful usage of
Yeah,
your song.
of course, yeah.
Yes.
It's not just mine, Paul. They use Yapono
Quite
song,
a number
they use
of
Ayat
artists
song.
have been lamented this issue now. The cocoa season for politics is inching closer.
Yeah.
Next year is an election election year.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think some sort of awareness needs to be created about the usage of your songs? Because I think, for instance, they just call on the services of a DJ or something.
Yeah.
He believes it's a platform. Everybody has to jump.
Yeah.
Let's play this guy's song.
Yeah.
Do you think we need some sort of sensitization needs to go on about these things?
When you say awareness, it's like it's not there and then they are about to be aware of the thing being of existence. They are aware. They understand that when in other countries, when you use somebody's music for a show or a documentary or for any purposes at all that is going to bring you money, then it means you have to pay the artist for the money. But there are no, like I said, there are no systems in place to monetize the monies that are even being played. And apparently even radio stations are paying for royalties for they do. So I'm not saying that it's not working. Me, I've collected some of the money before. You understand? But
from Gamma, right?
Yes, of course. You are sitting there, the things that you don't go collect it. If it's small, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But it's your work. Yeah. You have worked for it. You can't go and change their system. No matter how much you speak, you can't change it. So if they call you that this is how much you made, you have to go and take it like that because you also have things to do. But pertaining this governments and politics and then these rallies and using my artist song, Charlie, they don't respect artists. That is just a point blank, full stop sentence. Politicians do not have any respect for artists because if they did, artists would be taking Ghanaians, the name of Ghana far. But we are not. Look at Nigeria. Nigeria is on. I'm not even saying only, but now Nigeria is popular because of Afro beats. Like it's the biggest thing in Nigeria. It's not Dangote salt or sugar. The biggest thing in Nigeria is music, it's art. And if Ghanaians or Ghana can understand that aspect of it, and the leaders can understand that aspect of it, it will change the course of Ghana. It will bring so much attention to the country, and then they can keep making money and stealing even more of it.
I mean, once they put those things in, like, don't have a problem with them stealing the money.
I mean, you see, the thing is it's like telling your father, Daddy, you can't go and buy beer. No. If daddy is not paying school fees, then you can tell Daddy, don't go and buy beer. But if Daddy is paying school fees and you've learnt and you've gotten some money, you even buy Daddy more beer. You understand what I'm saying? So we are not even saying, I'm not saying steal, but like with the thing, whether we like it or not, you will steal. You understand? So just do something. Just do something. Like right now. Another one is rallying around. You are in power. You're rallying around telling people what you want to do. You are in power. Go and do the thing. Like you are already in power. And you are standing on stage.
I get that drift. Yeah.
Telling people, when I come to power, you are in the power. Do the thing. Like they don't respect us, honestly. They don't respect artists, they don't respect the people, they don't respect art. That's all I can say. And
do you feel some of your colleague artists have also played a role in fueling this kind of disrespect? People
I'm telling you, we are hungry, no one to own.
So
if you are saying that anything, of course, because some have kids, they have families to take care of, they have homes to pay bills of, like, people are doing things, and if my music is going to support your party to do this thing and you are giving me money, why not? So if they want to do it, Charlie, they have to. It's necessary. Where is the money coming from? How many shows are in this country? Tell me. How many shows are in this country? It's only in December. Yeah. So if you're an artist, I tell you wait from January to December. Hey, Nana, come and go full. Sure. So if they want to collect it, that one there's up to them. It's just the influence. If after collecting itself, if the person is not doing the job, tell the person that please you are not doing the job, but don't keep quiet and support the person even when the person is killing everybody. Your children will suffer later. Unless you don't care about your children, then I understand. That I understand. But like, if you take the money self, you forfeit, because by all means you have to choose a side. You know, by all means you have to believe in one party or one president. So even when you take the money and the person is not doing the right thing, or the person is doing something that is harming other people, open your mouth and say it. Don't
say
blindly,
something.
don't blindly.
Say, if you see something, say something.
Say something. If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Because if it is good for the country, it's good for all of us.
Everyone.
Right now, everybody's running away. You know, everybody's running away. Me cry. I mean, if I find some whole cry around, I have to check on my plants. That's why I can't go. I have to be watering the plants. Yeah.
Well, I mean, talk about you. I mean, the struggles you go through with marketing your music, the money involved and everything, the investment and all that.
Sheesh.
So, Worlasi as an independent artist, should a record label approach you or want to sign you, and I mean, maybe distribution wise and all that, like, are you going to budge?
Well, yeah, of course. I've done it so many times. Like I said, I work with people terminal basis, like it's on terms, like, and a term comes with a period of time. So, sorry. I've done that a couple of times and work with people. I just don't like it when it's like throughout for a long time. And sometimes some of them actually don't even like it. Like they don't want to work with one person for a long time, you know, because artists grow, artists change. They have, whoever thought 100,000 be playing flute, you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so,
I know, right?
So it helps the artists also grow in different ways. So I would love that for that to happen. I've done that a couple of times. So yes, I'll badge, whatever that word means.
So what would you say has been your most challenging time in your career, and how do you overcome it?
Sheesh, I think when I left my first label, the group SR, it was a group of guys. We came together, we started working on songs. Shout out to SR, Supreme Rights, very good guys. I think when I left there, when the year was done and I had to leave, I think that was the hardest part. Like I said, I had to start reading, I had to start learning, so I learned how to put my music out on all platforms by myself, online, how to get paid from all these platforms. Some friends also helped, like Jules. I asked questions because he's been in the game for a while. He's in London, so he has a better understanding. I asked questions. He introduced me to some platforms. I started learning about publishing. I meet people I work with publishing for a while, and then we stop. But whilst you're working with them, you learn a lot. I think so. That was the hardest and the toughest time, apart from heartbreaks. Those were the hardest and toughest times, being like an independent artist. But once I figured it out, you create like a chain. You create a blueprint. So you use that same procedure every time. But you still have to be learning. Marketing wise, I am not good at marketing at all. You can tell, like, I mean, the fact that you guys know me doesn't mean I'm good at marketing. Compared to other artists, like, they are doing extremely well.
Yeah, a lot of your fans have complained
about that. They've complained about that too. They're like, well, as your marketing is not strong, but the strength of your marketing is your money, you know, which is just fact. Like, it's his money. That's I don't have much of. I only have the one that can help me do the next project. So if you want me to stop making music, then fine. But if not, keep quiet for somebody to come and help me. But for now, I think I'm beginning to understand other ways. And now music is not only about just giving money to DJs and radio presenters. It's also part, but you know, the digital aspect of marketing music has changed. There are platforms now that you pay money monthly or yearly, and they can put your songs on playlists and all whatnot. And even that, they are sure that it's going to be there for too long, because somebody is paying more than you. It's all like, it's still money at the end of the day. So marketing-wise, I won't say that I'm great at it, but I'm working on it. You people have heard about me and my things, and that's why you're here. So I'm doing well somehow. So, but I'm doing something right. But I think I'm beginning to understand how to globally stretch it, which I am working on slowly, slow but sure. But marketing aspect is difficult for an individual, an independent artist to market your songs. It's not easy. You need to have a lot of meetings, a lot of people on board, and you know, you have to learn how to share things, distribute. How do you call it? the work that's supposed to be done to different people, and also share the money that comes in to everybody. And then you too, if your streams is not plenty, then how much are you making to give somebody? So like, why would they be involved? You know, unless there are companies that are going to be involved. So marketing is something you have to think about. You have to be strategic about. I have a huge ass board in my room. And there's a marker behind it. Maurice writing ideas, putting things down, writing dates that things have to be released, circling it. I've grown from just making music for myself and enjoying it, and me and my friends, to planning and, you know, being sure of where it's going, you know, at least for the next 5 years or 6 years. And then when we find bigger organizations, we can look at 10, 20, 30 years.
But I mean, doing this art music thing, how do you manage to, you know, maintain your artist integrity whilst balancing all these?
I mind my own business, so I mind my own business, and I tell the truth as much as I can. You know, like, I can't be here like trying to use there are forms of marketing yourself or being an artist. You know, there is the make-believe one where you rent clothes to look good all the time.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I can't do. I wish I could. It could have been easier so that people follow me because of my Gucci bag or something, but I can't do that now. So I mind my own business. I use what I have. I wear what I have. I say what I have to do and what I can. It makes things easier.
Yeah.
I am the artist, and then the artist is me. It's as simple as that. So I don't go anywhere trying to form any way, or I can't do that. Like, what you get is what you see, and what you see is what you get. I think that helps me not think too much about my brand or me being an artist and how people are going to see things. I don't have the energy and time for that. Already I'm doing the music, doing the marketing, rehearsals, finding money, paying people. Like, I don't have time to like look a certain way for people to believe that I am a certain person. It's very difficult to do all that.
So whatever goes on, I know you are very active on social media, Twitter
very,
or X especially. So the dragging and everything, especially when you see things and people misconstrue it for something else, and they tend to drag it. It doesn't affect you.
No. It does sometimes. Sometimes you look at it as like, and you want to respond, but what's the point? Because what you said, a lot of other people agree to it. So if 2 people don't agree to it, what does it matter? And moreover, you're not tweeting it because you want somebody to agree to it. You're tweeting it because you want to tweet it. It's something that you are thinking about. And okay, what helps me is sometimes I mute the tweet. So like, when I tweet it, I mute it so I don't get notifications. Whatever you're saying is between you and your room and your 50 megabytes data. I don't. It's not
even a gig.
Yeah, it's not. I don't mind. I don't mind, because you have to. You know, you have to leave something behind. You can't use what people say to determine how you have to think as an artist, because you have a job to do. It's a business. You know, it's a business. It's a business, and we tend to forget about the business aspect. But it's a business. It's an art form, but it's a business. And you can't let it die.
I think recently you paid homage to the likes of Stonebwoy Manifest, talking about the heights they've reached, in the industry, and why people should, you know, give them all that respect that they are due. And I think when you shared it, I saw a comment by DKB under one of your posts, and he was like, yo, Worlasi, you tick all the boxes, or you tick all the boxes. The only thing left is a touch of controversy. I mean, that's his style. Like I said, there are styles there are styles of like being relevant as an artist. Space, and like I said, you are here. I'm still relevant somehow. My relevance is the planting of trees and talking about how the politicians can make things better. Because if it's better for all of us, we can't always be traveling around enjoying other people's country. Like, I understand the controversy parts. Like, I've been approached by people, just to, you know,
actresses and actors and rappers, and to start some controversy, and I'm like, Charlie,
it's just not you.
I wish I could. It would be nice, like, insult people, and it would be nice, like, get some attention. It would be nice. I don't like you get some following and all that, but we tend to forget. we tend to forget that we will not be young forever.
Posterity.
Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow your bottles will be somewhere, and then your children will be reading it, like, and then somebody will be in your child's class, calling your child names, calling your child names, and I know maybe we shouldn't be thinking about our children, but sometimes you have to, and not just your children, the people you take care of, your family that you are with, and whatnot. You know, it's just controversy is a lot. It's a lot. It comes with so much negativity, and I don't like those negative people and the negative comments. Yeah, I don't want it in my space, you know. I want to have a big tree somewhere, sit down, eat some banquet, chilling, and you have good people around, you know, and not people come and, I don't know, release, let's release some porn and things like, which can matter with this? Oh, Charlie.
I mean, before we wrap up, I mean, that's just what that. That creative industry and then the corporate sector synergy.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to that corporate sector regarding supporting the arts and, you know, the sponsorships bit?
Like, what would I ask of them?
Or what would you encourage them to do more to strengthen that relationship between the corporate sector and then the creative industry?
First of all, I'll also say the creatives also have to do something to strengthen it. You know, we need to heed up to our expectations and our the things that we've set out to do with these companies. We have to do them. Some of we the artists too, Charlie, we are troublesome, yes, and we can be very I don't know, unreliable, very unreliable sometimes, you know, because we are stuck somewhere drinking or smoking something, you know. It's those things are also, we need to point out that the artists need to come up, you know, correct. Once you do, and then you are pleasing an organization, you get what you want. Like, I recently worked with Belacqua, and I think that was one of my best and, you know, biggest thing that one of them that I've gotten in a while. And I'm happy that I was able to work with them smoothly and everything ended nicely. I wish more of that can happen. Obviously, with my next album, The Angry African, nobody will come and listen. But I think the companies can't work by themselves. It's not about these companies and organizations alone. We, the artists, have to prepare ourselves or put ourselves in a space where it's attractive for them to work with. So if I was doing controversies, I might lose some of these people, you know, and that's where my money is coming from. My money is not coming from people talking about me. Maybe from some people it is, but my money is coming from these companies. They have finance, you know, for these things, and I want some of that money. So I feel like we, the artists, also have to prepare ourselves and just package ourselves in ways that are attractive for these people, whilst at the same time doing what we like, what we want, and, you know, enjoying ourselves during the music. Because therapy was the best example for me to understand that I can do what I want, I can create what I want, it can make me a better person, make other people better as well, and at the same time, it can fetch me money. So I believe there are ways, but it's not a one-way thing, so I can't just say corporate bodies should do this, they should do that. But I think we, the artists, also have to find ways of pushing and telling them, please, I want this, please, I want that. Befriending their daughters and sons too. And that can also help. Creating
that connection, right? Yes. So, I mean, we touched on posterity, and I want to ask you, what do you want to be remembered for, or what legacy do you want to leave behind? Not just as Worlasi the musician, but as Worlasi the person, or let me say advocate for social causes and the likes. What do you want to be remembered for?
I want people to laugh when they remember me. Like, I want people to have a smile on their face when they remember Worlasi. Like, this guy made me laugh, even though he was saying something serious. You know, entertainment is not something that is supposed to, I mean, obviously, as an artist, you have to stir the minds of people and create confusion in a good way. But if you are doing it and at the same time people are laughing, it's good. So I want to be remembered to be the person that said things that actually mattered, and at the same time people were entertained whilst it was being said, you know, and life still goes on, because it's not always about the anger, you know. That's why we are even doing the Angry African. We want to make sure the youth is not angry anymore as we grow, you know. We are airing the frustration and we are not going to be angry anymore.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For allowing us into the comfort of your home today.
Thank you. It's my grandfather's house, but yes, thank you. The same. Start my
It's a
home.
pleasure sitting with you
Thank
and then,
you, thank you.
gleaning insights from your experience and journey.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And thank you too for doing the watch. And until we come your way again on Celeb Biz on this very station, I say thank you once again. My name, as always, is Amelie Josu. Stay safe and be blessed.